got fired from Pinkerton, but my full-time job was finding another job. Like, I felt that pressure, and me and Tabitha weren't even living together yet, but I was over her house so much, I wanted to contribute. I wanted to buy groceries for the house or be able to pay a bill for her and stuff. So when I lost that job, it became a full-time job for me to find another job because I felt useless, even though I was like making sure I was keeping the apartment clean or whatever like that. I felt useless not being able to contribute.
What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I'm Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg. Join my co-host Buff and Razi. And this week it's just us. We're introducing part 2 of the Razi birthday weekend edition. So the guests that you will hear later on are no longer around us. They are off to their own lives, getting back to their own worlds. We wanted to continue the conversation. So the good thing is you get to hear more about what we're talking about. The bad thing is Razi's probably still going to tell a joke. So, Buff, Razi, what you guys got for me?
It's a lot of pressure on this episode because, sequels are usually is not as good as the first part. But I think part 2, from what I remember, because that was a week ago now. And
a lot of drinking ago.
Yeah, it was a lot of drinking. So I forgot all that. I kind of knew what was going to be on part 1. I have no idea what was on part 2 except for one topic. So I'm going to be listening just like the rest of the listeners like, we said that? So,
that goes to show how drunk we were.
Yeah.
Like, we really don't remember what we talked about.
So it was a good time, man. I just enjoyed. What I was going to talk about, I don't think we have enough time for. It's almost like it's like question worthy. But I was going to talk about the attack on critical race theory. But I'll just I'll say that for another week. Right now, I think we mentioned this last month. I think last month was Mental Awareness Month. And, I mentioned how everybody says we've made strides, we've made progress in understanding it. But then you have something like what's happening with Naomi Osaka and how she's been attacked for just not wanting to do interviews. She's just, I don't want to do the interviews. And people are automatically going to how much money she's made and how she should just get over it and do it. So it just once again highlights that, yeah, we have made progress, but we still have a long ways to go when it comes to understanding. It also happened in the world of boxing. A young up-and-coming boxer, he pulled out of a bout, and I don't think Naomi has even mentioned any mental issues, but he did. He was like, look, I can't do it right now. And people were calling him weak and a pussy and all of that. So, just be mindful of what we say. I know it's easy to say we understand mental health, but we got to also put some action behind it. And so when people come out and say that they're struggling with something, try to be understanding.
Yeah, definitely that, man. Definitely that. And, June is LGBTQ awareness or support month. So
they call it Pride Month.
Pride Month, yeah. So it's been a lot of pride parades and events happening right now. So, if you want to be a true ally, go out, find your pride parade and go support. I'm not there yet. Just going to let you go. I'm an ally. I can support, but I'm just letting you know that I'm scared I'm going to get hit on. So it's weird. It's weird. It's a weird dynamic, So I support you guys. But I am,
you're not there yet. So that's like if you go to a women's rights parade, you think you're just going to get hit on. Like, you just assume that gay people are going to find you attractive?
I mean, yes, I do assume gay people are going to find me attractive because I'm an attractive guy. So, and I'm at a gay pride parade. So it's a weird dynamic that, it's one of those things that you just don't put yourself in certain situations. If you're a married guy and you don't go out with a whole bunch of single folks, and be grinding up on people and stuff like that. So I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I have to do that.
You don't want to grind on the gay people at the parade.
Well, no, I don't want to grind on the gay people at the parade. But okay, it's not about grinding it. It's just that I don't want to put myself. I don't want to put the false feelers out there. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I can do
very
it.
assumptive, sir. Do you just think they just hit on people more often than the regular people?
Not
Regular people. Then straight.
No, I know I'm an attractive single guy. I don't have my ring on no more. Maybe I put my ring on and go and then, feel like a chick going into a spots that she'd be like, I don't want to go there because I might get hit on a lot. Like there are places that girls don't go because they feel like they're gonna, guys are just gonna really hit on them. And so I'm not ready to put myself in that situation. The same way I don't know if I feel comfortable going to a, gay bar. Like that's how I feel going to that. It's like, okay, I put myself out there a little too much. So that's even though it's a pride parade, I don't know.
What's wrong with a gay dude hitting on you? All you have to do is say, "I'm not interested."
I know, and I'm cool with that. I'm not. I mean, but
you're not that cool with it.
I'm cool with it if it's like on a random thing, but it's like I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I may be misconstrued as, "Hey, come hit on me" type thing. So I don't know.
I don't think that's the premise of the parade is to come hit on me. Just throwing it out there because there will be other people out there, and you're gonna be singled out to get hit on. But hey, maybe you.
I mean, because I'm a fun guy, I can see myself there having fun. And yes,
hey, our vice president marched in one, and she's an attractive woman. She wasn't concerned about other gay women hitting on her.
Yeah, what's your concern, Razi? What's the worst that can happen?
I mean, I'd march in one. That's very different than like being there. I don't know. It's.
Oh, so you would march in one. Okay.
I'm marching one.
Okay. So you're not participating like in the whole activities. Like I don't want to whistle, and you're not driving down the street and doing all the dancing and stuff like that.
You don't have a rainbow frame around your profile picture on Facebook?
Right. No.
So that actually, it's funny that you brought that up. And I'm just joking with you is because yesterday was I had a day out with the kids, and we went to this store in Houston, and an outlet store, and there was a transgender male. I was getting confused.
Female to male is a transgender male. If they were initially male to a female, they're transgendered female.
So transgender female, and Scott, and this female is tall, probably 6'2", 6'3", maybe even 6'4", like tall, very thin. Hasn't done fully, I guess, transitioned, but she had her hair, she had like a crop top, but she had a dress on, and it caught Sky's attention. And Sky's 6 and very limited exposure to the world. And I mean, it was one of those situations where we're next in line. I look back and she's pointing. She's pointing, and I'm like, "Stop pointing, Sky." And I'm like, "Go stand out there with Papa." My dad was there, but he had stepped outside so she couldn't see him. So she stood there with him like, "Just don't point." So we go up there, and she rings me up and stuff like that, and we're just having a conversation. And then actually, the lady that was in the line next to me, getting checked out, she walks by and taps the lady on the shoulder, says, "Happy Pride Month." And for a second, I'm like, I don't know. Am I supposed to respond? Is it like, am I put in a situation where I got to say Happy Pride Month too? Now for what, I don't even know how to support. Do you just say Happy Pride Month? Is that, for one, that's one question.
I mean, do you walk up to other Black people and say Happy Black History Month?
And that's what I was thinking. Is that just going over the top? I don't know. And so, but I look back at Sky, and Sky is just, how the kids have that head tilt where they're just like deep in understanding and thought. And I saw you could tell she just wanted to ask more questions. So we go outside, and she's like, "Daddy, why did that girl look like a boy?" And so we actually had a conversation. It was just, I explained to her that initially she, and I made sure I kept stressing the word she, initially she was born as a boy, but she felt that she was happier being herself as a girl or a woman. And that's what makes her happy, and that's what makes her feel comfortable. And she still gave me that look like, "Daddy, I don't get it." I don't get it. So I try to explain to her, think about all the things that make you you, all the things that you love that make you Skylar. And imagine if somebody says you couldn't be Skylar because of certain things. How would that make you feel? It's like, that would make me feel good, Dad. So I'm like, that's the same thing with her. Some people believe that she should have to act like a boy when what makes her happy is being the girl that she feels that she is. And I think she got it to a certain extent. She got it better, but it was just very interesting that this is becoming the norm that our kids are seeing or will see, and that I try to answer it in a open-minded way without overloading her brain. But and it was funny because my dad was there with me, and you could just see him like, okay, I'm gonna see how you handle this. But he was like, you could tell that he was like, good job. And because he said he was unbothered by it, doesn't, he didn't even notice it. He just realized, he saw the behind her, and that she was just tall and kind of had some broad shoulders. That's all he noticed. But I guess like you're right. Would you tell somebody Happy Black History Month?
Yeah, but I like how you say, like, it's hard to understand how to support for Pride Month. Like, I say I won't go to a Pride parade or whatever, but I've been to them before, so I really was joking when I said that. But I know a lot of people that don't feel comfortable doing that or whatever, and going and being in those circles and stuff like that. Now again, I won't go to a gay club or whatever, but because I don't want to put myself in that situation. Like, I don't want to put myself in that situation where I may be getting hit on, or I'm going to be hit on a lot. And truthfully, there's no chicks there at the club. It's like, it ain't really for me. You know what I mean?
Kids. So yeah, they could be there with their gay homegirls to support it. The same way you're there with a gay homeboy supporting.
I guess I ain't feeling that one too much. I'm just not. So, but that has nothing to do with, it's no different, I think, than I don't want to go to a mosh pit. You know what I mean? It's like, I just ain't feeling that vibe. That ain't my scene. So, no, do them. Because I think there's a lot of folks misunderstanding, not generally, or wanting to place boundaries on type of things versus not supporting them. And so those are two different things. It's like, certain things I'll do, but I support you living your life. I support you living your truth and have equal rights. I support you being able to do what you feel and everything like that. That is very, very different than, I'm gonna go to a gay club where 90% of the folks in there are probably gay men, and I'm in there where I can't, there's not a lot of chicks. There's nobody for me to hit on. I'm probably going to be hit on at least once or twice throughout the night. That's just very different. It's a scene that I'm not trying to or that I'm not trying to go into.
You're assuming those women that you just called chicks will want to be hit on too, Razi.
I know.
What if they're just there for a good time?
Exactly. Which means that I can't hit on them. Which means that, or if I do hit on them, it's unexpected, and it feels awkward because they weren't expecting to be hit on with me. So, I mean, I'm not going to a club unless I'm going with a large group of gay friends. Like, I may be able to do that where it's a large group of gay friends and we all going out and they want to go to the gay club so they feel comfortable. I may go and hang out with them, because at that point I'm probably not going there, trying to hit on chicks or pull somebody. I'm going just to hang with my friends. So it's no different for me to go to any other bar. So I may be able to do that if it's a large group of gay friends that I'm riding with like that. But I don't have a large group of gay friends. I have one or two gay friends that are actually really close friends, but I don't see myself with 3-4 gay homeboys and me going anywhere. Like, because I just don't hang. I don't hang like that. If I'm going, y'all see how hard it was for y'all to pull me out to go hang out for a weekend. So it's just picking and choosing what time I do and who I'm hanging with.
Okay. I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm just asking.
No, I know. So I think the listeners probably want to hear generally that. So, but anyway, man. Oh, the only thing that I did have though to talk through is Lupin came out. So season 2 of Lupin came out. It's really, really good. It's a short. I think it's only 6 episodes, so you can binge it pretty quickly. So if anybody's kind of into that gentleman thief type thing and how he's doing that, I will say his kick game is on point. He be rocking the ones the whole way through. So he's got like a pair of ones for every outfit that he has on. So yeah, it's cool to see a French actor, a black French actor in a French show that, you know, actually still has some style to him. So it's a good little show, man.
Speaking of shows and things of that nature, did you guys see the trailer to Space Jam?
Yep.
I haven't even seen it.
What's crazier than the trailer is the comments, and to me, the level of hate that people have. Like, how can you hate on a cartoon? Like, people are hating, like, they hate on LeBron even in cartoon form. Like, they have, like, if you look at some of the comments, it was just so sad. Well, you know, we're not gonna watch it. I'm gonna just take my kids and we're gonna re-rent the first one. And like, dude, just for one, you don't have to comment, you know. But they felt the need to let the world know how upset they were with LeBron playing this character. I'm like, come on, dude. It is a cartoon. This dude, you might not agree with this guy on the court, but you can't knock everything about him. Like, it's just like you are going out of your way to hate a cartoon.
LeBron haters are gonna hate. It just is what it is.
Oh, yeah,
anything he does.
But to me, it's a whole other level of hate because there's only been one other situation where this happened. That was Space Jam, the original Space Jam. So the second time, like, this is not like, to me, it's not like regular hate. Like, it's just like, okay, you know, they're gonna hate on people. It's like, how many times have you seen people hate on a cartoon? This is just like how deep it is. It's like, man, that's on a whole nother level of hate that you only get. I mean, maybe you have to seize opportunity because you only get to hate like this maybe once in a lifetime. So you have to jump on that opportunity to let people know that you hate him that much.
Yeah.
And Loki came out too, and it was pretty good. Anybody that didn't like it, try to rewatch. I'm very interested to see where it goes. It seems like it might be one of the most interesting Marvel shows so far. The sky's the limit on this one.
Yep.
What you got for us, Buff? Anything else?
Nah. I think I'm good. I stand by my cake comments. I know we rehashed that through the text thread. Yes, folks, they came for me on the cake comment, and this is the only thing I'll say. I'll say this: how the saying was originally stated makes more sense because it originally goes, "You can't eat your cake and have it too." But the way we say it sequentially, you can have your cake because you have it first and then you eat it. Now, if you're saying it concurrently, then no. But I think most people, when they hear that saying, they think of it as sequentially. And yes, you can have your cake and then eat it too. And I think it's just a dumb saying. That's all I got.
You're being too literal. That's what it is.
No, because you still wouldn't have the cake. It's just that simple.
No, sequentially, sequence of events. You have it. Yes, you can have it, and then you eat it. So then you can do both. Because
it's called a colloquialism.
You know what I mean?
Can't say it. Colloquialism. Yeah, that's
I thought you had it right. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah. So you understand what they mean, even if they say it in like, you know, concurrently or not or sequentially. You understand what they're trying to say.
And it's dumb.
It's all about intent.
It's no other reason to have cake, folks. Are you blessing? Well, is it a blessing to have a Razi joke? Because one of the listeners asked for Sophie back after that nacho cheese. She said, "When is Sophie coming back?"
DeMarcus, I don't know. He thought he had one though.
Fam, the way he paused,
like, I'm killing him with this.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So he told me another one too. I'm actually going to use a DeMarcus joke. That's gonna be my joke for today.
Don't try to blame it on DeMarcus.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he's a cop or whatever, and he was just telling me a whole bunch about petty larcenies and stuff like that, and he was telling me about 2 criminals and they stole the calendar. He was like, they both got 6 months.
It's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. What you think? That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Okay. It's clever. That was clever. Clever.
Brother, you redeemed yourself. If you're out there listening to Marcus, much better.
But he said nacho cheese like that was something he saw in a Kevin Hart special or some shit like that. That's in every joke book since 1987.
Exactly.
Oh man,
Razi, I see you drinking the Gatorade. You been on that road machine?
Yesterday I did. Man, I got a sinus infection. So I had to, go get shots, and I'm on a Z-Pack and all kind of other stuff. So I didn't roll today, and I probably won't because the medicine got me down. But yeah, that row machine is real, man. That thing.
It is.
Whew.
So I heard that it's a new part of the Army physical fitness test. Are they looking to add that row machine?
To rowing, yeah, as an alternative. That probably is a better alternative.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That thing, boy.
I do it every once in a while at the gym.
The only last thing I want to say is I hope you guys enjoy part 2. And we are closing in on our 100th episode. So in about a month and a half, we will reach that. As listeners, man, I know us 3, we've been trying to think of what we can do special for it. Listeners, if you have any suggestions, please hit us up. Let us know. We want to try to do, I don't know, something. Have a bunch of past guests on or do a live show. Who knows? But just let us know.
True. The only other thing I can say is I think we've been talking about our ladies a lot and our female listeners and women out there. So I think it's only fair that we, in the next few episodes, invite some of our female guests on or our female listeners on. So what say you guys about that?
Oh, I'm with it.
Definitely.
I'm with it. Yeah.
Ladies, if you want to be on the show, hit us up. 3 Brothers No Sense. You can hit us. You can email us or just DM us. Let us know, and we'll be reaching out.
Razi, did you? I don't know. Never mind. I was going to ask you if you got any news for your birthday.
I did not. And never too late, ladies. Never too late. Throwing that out there.
I feel like that's a good gift.
That's very, very selfish of you young ladies.
Yep.
Very selfish. I mean, it'd be a nice gift for you, man. Show how much they care. Well, fellas, it's been fun, man. Let's go ahead and jump into this episode 2. People, we will see you next week. Hopefully next week we will have some lovely ladies on to discuss some important issues and topics and communicate and go across the aisle, break bread. So let's do it.
So let me ask a question, right? I just watched some on TikTok. It was a roundtable discussion. So first of all, this dude was severely outnumbered. All right, so he asked the question: if I get in a relationship with you, your old dude has bought you Fendi, Gucci, Prada, Rolexes, and all this stuff, right? So
what did you lose him?
Me, as a guy who can't afford that, and every time we go out, this is what you're wearing, and I tell you to give it back, it's a problem.
What you mean give it back?
Like, hey, give him his stuff back or don't wear it in front of me because it's like a slap in my face because I can't afford it to you.
No. When you met her, did she already have it?
That dude's insecure. No, this is like a gift afterwards.
Oh, so her ex is still
buying her stuff? Right.
She's still
that's his lady. That's different.
She's still accepting gifts.
So she. Why would you get on that nigga? So the argument she said was, first of all, I don't have to let my new dude know where I got this from.
Well, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I don't have to let him know my ex gave me this as a gift.
But now you're lying.
So why do I have to give it back why would you expect me to give this back if you can't replace it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. That's just like saying, hey, I killed this guy and I go to the police station and I was open and honest. Since I'm open and honest, you shouldn't punish me.
But that happens all the time. That's why it's ruled.
Yeah, that's not cool.
You know, that's why they're not. Everybody gets charged with a homicide. Like if a police officer kills somebody, they're charged with it. Are they convicted of it? No.
Let me ask you two married gentlemen here.
No, it's 3, 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about you. Well, I didn't know Lenny was married, but I forgot about Windows.
I got my wife. I got my ring on.
I ain't scoping your.
No, he told me he got a ring on.
I just met Lenny. I apologize, Mrs. Lenny.
Hey, Teresa.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Is it cool for another man to be buying your wife presents?
Not absolutely.
Especially expensive presents.
Hold on. You answer that question.
No, absolutely not.
All right, then. Shit, it's the same thing right here. Hell no.
A resounding no.
Yeah.
So with that being said, he flips the scripts on her. He says, so what you telling me, like, okay, so you don't feel like you should give that back, right? And they was like, no, I don't feel like I should give that back. So he said, so what if my ex, like if your ex worked for Facebook and then you took the shirt and when y'all in bed together, they wear the Facebook shirt. No, you got to get that back now. He was like, but you can take $100,000 gifts, but this $5 t-shirt is a hell no to that. And what's the difference? Like y'all putting a monetary value on it, but it doesn't make sense. Well, that got sentimental value. This is just a gift. But the dude was like, well, every time I look at that, it does something to me personally. Because I can't give you that lifestyle. But this is a t-shirt.
He needs to leave her alone anyway. He needs to let her
Give her back to the earth.
Yeah. Because she is already for the street.
Well, they go back to
She might have other good quality. You
the
can work
city
with
girl she said, broke niggas don't deserve no.
Yeah.
Who's that? One of the
Cardi
city
B.
girls.
Cardi B.
It was a city girl, wasn't it?
That's Cardi B.
Same person to me.
Good thing I'm not a broke nigga.
Deserve ain't got nothing to do with it. But there's plenty of broke niggas getting.
Yeah, deserve it. Yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with it. But I mean, you do need to be selective of who you lay with because you could possibly make a baby.
It's because
You know what I mean?
niggas that
Other than me, because I got a vasectomy, ladies. You got to worry about that.
Shoot that shot.
Kobe.
You get what he did there? You get what he did? Shoot that shot. You get it? Vasectomy? I was not going nowhere. So what do we have for breakfast? What do we have for breakfast?
Waffles?
And we ate it. Right? So we had it and ate it too.
Yeah.
You can't.
You said it right. We had it.
Yeah.
And we had it. So we no longer have
It's
it.
done. It's a done thing. I got a
Well,
question.
you know what?
I mean,
But I don't really want to answer because you niggas ain't gonna be real on it.
Sherman didn't want to ask this question at first because he felt like the brothers on here and the people on here want to be real. So we'll see how.
accusation.
We'll see how the. This is the second time you accused us today in the last 24 hours.
What else did I accuse you of?
Oh, never mind.
Dang.
But no, because he had these conversations offline, and especially this guy to my left, right here, Buff, gets extremely upset when we hear these type statements from females, and it's mostly about a man taking care of them. I mean, how do you feel about that? Like some women feel like, and this was a new concept to me. I mean, y'all know my background. You know, I did like 17 years in prison, so a whole lot of life I missed. So coming home or right before I came home, being a kept woman was a very new I was like, what? The hell you mean keep you? Keep you where? So I mean, but what are you all's opinion on that? How do you feel about that? Like, is a man, and again, it kind of goes back, it's kind of tied into the last question we just had. Is a man supposed to take care of a woman to an extent to where she doesn't have to work? She can essentially be a housewife and basically just go after her heart's desires, whether that's sitting around watching TV all day or raising kids or taking up hobbies. Listen, I was told this, bro. I was told that the goal.
So the context is, it was two different. think you said something, and then one of them they screenshot a post where the chick was like, I'm independent and can pay all my bills, but I still want to be spoiled. I'm in the spoiled.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the one. I was sitting here like, what?
So it's not so much that I just resent women who say they need to be taken care of, but don't boast how independent you are and then still say, but you need to splurge on me. I want to be splurged on too. I like Gucci backpacks. I like all that nice stuff.
How was your Gucci backpack? Bro?
Yeah,
I said I like it. I didn't say I have one. You know what I mean?
You have it on your...
We don't know whose that is.
Oh, is it in your
Airbnb?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, but
It's a nice Gucci backpack.
I mean, it just varies from situation. Like, I do think in the perfect case scenario that you have one person that's working, and the other one staying home and raising. It doesn't have to be the man or the woman, but unfortunately, we want more expensive things. Cost of living is higher, so it usually forces both individuals to work. As far as a woman wanting to be taken care of and spoiled, I don't necessarily have an issue with it. I had an issue with those posts, that post, and what you, I don't know if you want to expound upon what you said.
Go ahead, we're going to keep it 100.
Okay, well, I had an issue with that because I felt like that particular situation, it should have been more patience and understanding.
Patience and understanding about what?
As far as waiting for him who just came home from doing from doing 17 years, he's not overnight gonna be making six figures. That's gonna take time.
Were you pressured to take care of her?
Well, we here now.
Let me be clear. I'm gonna be 100% totally honest and clear about it. She did not pressure me like you need to be doing this right now, but she was like, "This is the goal. This is where I want to be," and that was foreign. That was foreign to me, and it does add. Even if you're not pressuring me now, if you're saying in 5-6 years, this is where I expect to be. That's pressure.
Yeah, that's pressure. And I'm gonna tell you why.
And hold up.
I'm gonna tell you why.
And also, again, that's pressure. That's external pressure from her. The internal pressure from myself to say, okay, I'm not doing what I want financially and for our household as it stands, as it is. I mean, well, y'all don't know, but y'all know me. We grew up together, so you know where I'm from. You know, I'm from the hood. I come from modest upbringings. I don't have to, live, on a skyscraper, a condo, all this other stuff. So to be living there to where even if I contributed my entire paycheck towards the rent back then at this point in time, it's gonna be a fraction of what the rent is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I can't even contribute here. Where if we live somewhere that was more modest, then if I were to contribute that paycheck towards the rent or the other bills, it's at least going to have a bigger impact. But this is outside of where you want to be. So to me, it's like, okay, this is pressure. And it is pressure that I'm placing on myself because she ain't saying you need to do this right now. You need to do that right now. But the circumstances to where, okay, this is where I want to be. This is where I'm comfortable. It created that dynamic in that circumstance. And I'm speaking this now. I didn't understand that then. I didn't understand what was going on, why I was so unhappy, why it was all these issues. It actually took me making some career advances and some leaps to where I'm a lot closer to where I want to be now. And then looking back and saying, hey, I can contribute because I'm doing it on my own now. I'm single, I'm by myself, I'm paying all these bills, I got money in the bank, credit great, all this other stuff now. And it's like, okay, I feel like it's different now versus then it was like, why am I so...
Hold something. So you're not with her anymore?
No, we're divorced.
Okay. I want to get right back to you, but I want to set it up.
Okay. How
long did it take you, Razi, in the workforce to make enough money to sustain a full household? How many years were you in the workforce doing that?
About 8,
right.
9.
And you have a college degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything? Do you have a degree higher than a bachelor's degree?
Yeah, I got a master's.
All right. So after your master's degree, it took you 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Ferg, after college, you have a bachelor's degree Yeah, military experience. Razi has military experience. How long did it take you to make enough money to sustain a full household?
10 years. About 10 years after I graduated, at least 10, 12 years.
10 years in the force, right? Buff.
Same. Around between what Razi and Ferg got, 8, 9, 10 years.
Okay, so here you are, 17 years in the penitentiary. You get out and you feeling pressure within 1 to 6 years to take care of a whole household. That's an unrealistic expectation. Not saying that it can't be done, but it's really unrealistic. So, women, I want y'all to hear this from a man. These are all men in this room. We ain't influencing nobody. That is something that's kind of unrealistic, and it's like an outlier. It's a very small percentage of us that can actually do that.
I did it, nigga.
Hold on. 2 years. Hold on. But he let go of the baggage, though. Think about it. No, for real, though. He had to do it for himself. Right, but he did it. But he had to.
But this is the reason a lot of men wait to get married anyway, because they feel like. And so you brought up when you first asked the question, I'm thinking support, and based off of your scenario, there's a difference in supporting and keeping up a woman, because you just said she had. If you would have stayed here, like me and Z moved in together circa 2010. Nigga, y'all know how it was hard times. But it eventually got to the point, a year later, 2 years, I could support our lifestyle. If Z didn't work, I could support. It would be tough. I might have to pick up an Uber, but I could support our lifestyle. The lifestyle that Z is accustomed to now, it takes everything I do to keep up that lifestyle. And so when your wife was on this lifestyle that she wanted to keep, and you can't keep up with it, that's an unfair expectation. Do you love me for me, or you love me for the ability to keep up my lifestyle? I feel like a man that truly wants to be able to lead his household, we were talking about this the other day, you have to be able to manage that household. And to manage that household like you manage any other thing, that means you take a certain level of responsibility. You just got into management. And you're talking about, like, you got to make calls for your people. Like, at the end of the day, the GM don't give a Byron to make a call. It's Sherman. Did you hit your numbers? Absolutely. So in my marriage, it's the same thing. It goes back to when we were talking about having a final say. Z runs our household. I travel for work. Z runs our household. He's been in my house. He's seeing me and my wife interact. He laughs at like that. Z runs our house because I have faith in her that she can do what needs to be done. So I'm not even so allowed. I trust her to make sure those things. So, Z runs our house. I take all the responsibility, because the thing about it is, if I lose my job tomorrow, if I can't support us, they ain't gonna be looking at Z ain't worked in 2.5 years. They gonna like, damn, what the fuck did? He spent all that money.
I will say this too. I can definitely understand what he's saying about putting that pressure on yourself. I felt that as a young man, like in my late teens. I got fired from Pinkerton. But my full-time job was finding another job. Like, I felt that pressure, and me and Tabitha weren't even living together yet, but I was over her house so much, I wanted to contribute. I wanted to buy groceries for the house or be able to pay a bill for her and stuff. So when I lost that job, it became a full-time job for me to find another job, because I felt useless, even though I was like making sure I was keeping the apartment clean or whatever like that. I felt useless not being able to contribute. And it's not like she ever said, you eat over here, but you ain't bringing it. She never made me feel that way. But as a man, you create that demand on your own self. And so I knew exactly what I was talking about.
When you were talking
without his ex-wife, he can put that.
With that though, I think there's this idea of a woman being a kept woman means that she needs to be Real Housewives level, like super kept, getting Gucci, Prada, and all that stuff. Like, you can be a kept woman on a $45,000 salary. We might not have no box springs and the bed might be on the floor. You ain't going to work. You at the house. You eating good every day or whatever. Roof over your head, so you can be kept. But it's what level of kept do you want?
But if your standards are high, and do you expect me to keep up your standards? Right. So if you're coming in this penthouse, and now I'm responsible for making sure you can keep this. Think about it. It's almost like when you get divorced. They don't want to disrupt her lifestyle. People are getting all this money. But look, you ain't have to work for 10 years. You got a 10-year vacation. You go to work. Like it's just that's like the alimony. I don't want my wife to ever struggle. But it's also like if you get my wife had to work for 10 years and we divorced, and now it's on me to keep that lifestyle going, and you ain't worked in 10 years. Like, look, I don't want you to have to worry about mortgage. I don't want to, but like. It's not upon me to make sure that you're still living that if you're doing the Gucci bags and all. That's not my word. I shouldn't have to keep up your lifestyle.
Because she ain't obligated to do the things that she was doing for you.
But in the world we live in today, if we're together, am I obligated to do that? Am I obligated to buy all these nice things? Once again, I think it's a simple fact. As a man, my wife should never have to face the issues that I do. Like I need to worry if the mortgage isn't going to get paid. Like you helping pay the mortgage is great, but if my wife came to me, if she started working again, it's like my boss is getting on my nerves. I'm stressing out. I'm losing my hair. I'm having anxiety attacks. Baby, quit. We'll find another job. Like she shouldn't have to stick it out the way I stick it out. I would take that responsibility on as a husband, but. At a certain level of support, you shouldn't have to worry about the brunt of the lifestyle should not be on you. Now, I want you to help and help us get ahead, but it shouldn't be, you can't, you're stressed out like me because of that.
And let me say this again, and I'm going to say it as I prefaced before, because a lot of our listeners know, all listeners, you all listeners know us, and so they know my business, and they know who we're talking about when we talk about my ex-wife or whatever. I want to say that, she's a great person, always has been. And she did everything she was supposed to do in that relationship. Like I said, as far as the pressure that I felt, now most of it was internal. Now there was some external pressure because she did have these expectations of where she wanted things to be in, the next 5 or 6 years or whatever. But none of this conversation or discussion is meant to, cast any kind of aspersions on her because she did everything.
But I think every person should. I think that the fact that she had expectations and voiced her expectations, now, were they truly realistic? In the grand, it ended up being a yes. But those are high expectations.
No, I ain't gonna say.
I mean, don't lower your expectations, I guess.
I'm not gonna say that they ended up being a yes. I'm not a multimillionaire.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, I know how. I don't know what expectations were. Like she wanted to be a multimillionaire and sold a couple.
That means she believed in you. Yeah. I mean, you can flip it like that. She's like, I know you smart. I know what you used to do and what you capable of doing.
But that's another thing. Like I would say, like Z, that motherfucker down. Like she encouraged me to do shit I believe in myself.
And that's what I want to get across. She was down. She was 10 toes down, always has been. Like I said, and a lot of the things that I'm expressing on this show now, I wasn't recognizing, 18 months ago. I didn't, I didn't understand what it was, what's going on inside of me that this just isn't working, that I'm just so disconnected and so unhappy about what's going on.
So to be honest, bro, you're an anomaly. Yeah, you have served 17 years for what you did and to come out and be where you're at today. There's people that can go to get a degree, work for 17 years and not be where you're at today. Yep. So,
I was just thinking about that.
Like, your shit.
Yeah.
I brag you a lot, bro, just because of it. I'm like, dude, this, even when you were still there, I'm like, this nigga, he gonna get out, he gonna do shit. I knew, I didn't have a doubt about that. And you lived up to it. Maybe she saw it. I think that's another thing. A good woman sees things in a man that you don't see in yourself sometimes. Like, and sometimes you don't know how to take it.
You said she was 10 toes down. Do you feel any type of way that you've achieved what she wanted you to achieve, but it's...
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, oh, she gone is over, F her, did that. No, it's not like that. Because I feel like, just like I feel like I owe y'all everything for being.
He's always said that to you.
You know who you are and you know where you were for all of these years. And of course, she wasn't there for all of those years, but I still, a big part of me feels like I owe her. And, since we've divorced, other, females or whatever that I've met, stuff hasn't worked out because they kind of sense that.
Let me ask you this: Did you have to have a chance of a decompression period when you got out?
No.
You got out.
You got out like you was.
I thought you were talking about the marriage. My bad.
I'm talking about like mentally, like adjustment period. Yeah.
When you got out, so you just dove into
I
it.
jumped right in.
I said, did you feel like you needed?
Oh, did I need?
Yeah, did you need like a real an adjustment period when you got out?
I mean, looking back, I probably should have went and probably spoke with people, and not so much like everybody thought. Okay, all the technology in the world is just going, shock you. It wasn't that. It was more so. It was really again my expectations of things. Like I was a GED instructor when I was in prison for like 8 years. I was a GED instructor. There were literally people who I was teaching to read and helping get their GEDs. When I got to the halfway house, I earned my bachelor's degree in prison or whatever. When I got to the halfway house, I was literally seeing some of these people, they could go get jobs because, they had nonviolent drug offenses and I couldn't get a job. And so by the time that I got out, by the time I got to the halfway house or whatnot, like I said, I was there a month before I could find a job. And I'm seeing these other guys come in and they can just go get you. Like this was eating me up inside. And I was doing everything. I'm walking 5 and 6 miles to job interviews and everything would go great until they got to the background stuff. And so, so my expectation there. And then when I went from the halfway house to home confinement, I went through the whole thing all the way over again. And that time it was 2 months versus a month. By the time I got to Jacksonville, it's 2 months. I can't find a job. Nobody will hire me. This was eating me up inside. I got other people in my ear like, well, let's go get a job at Burger King. Let's go get a warehouse job. And I would do that if that's the last straw, but I'm going to aim for what I want and what I feel like I can do. And then, and I'm doing well on these interviews. I remember I'm having interviews where they calling me back for second interviews to talk about management and I ain't started a job yet. But then we get to the background and it's ghosted or whatever.
This brings up a good point. I want to go to another question, man, because I think you kind of mentioned something today in what you were talking about. And even you, I think as men, I know several of us have all hit that point where we thought it was a low point. And there was a low point when a woman was involved. Like when you lost, when you were let go by the railroad, like you still had this wife and his kids and you getting out and you having this pressure from your, inadvertent pressure from your wife, but would put more pressure on yourself internally. Like I know my situation, if you were talking about when you got let go, like how did you guys deal with that? Like how do you deal with it and what was it for you?
Like I said, it was a full time. I was literally waking up like each night, the night before I was looking at, because internet wasn't, it was out, but it wasn't on your phone. So I was in the class, the ads, the work ads in the newspaper the night before, looking at jobs, and then the next morning I'm going on interviews, like waking up at 8 in the morning, out the house by 9. It was a full-time job looking for jobs, man. I had to get a job. I could not be in her apartment.
And how old were you? Still a kid, putting all that pressure on yourself. I know for me, it was, I always talk about 2010. So Z graduated 2010. She graduated on a Friday. Sunday, she was in the car headed to Houston with me, and she's been with me ever since. We've been together ever since. But she was coming up just to look for a job and kind of get a little summer break before she was really thinking about moving to Houston. And so she moved up here. When we first met, I was working with Philip Morris in Tallahassee, making decent money, nice little house, little apartment, stuff like that. When she moved up here, I was struggling. And I remember my 30th birthday, 2 of my homeboys called me like, what are you doing for your birthday? And I would literally say I was at the house chilling. I got nothing because I didn't have the money to take myself out, take my lady at the time, future wife out. And they took us out for my 30th birthday. You know, 30, like our friend group in 30s were like, you see everybody traveling around the world, you know, 30, like people in Dubai and everything. And I'm saying, I can't even take this girl that just moved halfway across the country out for a 2-for-1 drinks at Chili's or whatever, just because I was that broke. And so December 13th, after Adrian and Mario took me out for my birthday, I made a pact with myself that I was going to change it for the next 5 years. But part of that was I was thinking about going full-time Army or something. Mm-hmm. I just needed something to give me a boost. And I literally, you know, when he said you kept the bag, I think that was the closest I ever came to losing Z, because I was about to send her back. Mm-hmm. I was about to send her back because as a man, and I knew she had higher expectations than me, but she never led on to like, I'm disappointed. There's a difference in having expectations. And I feel like she was never disappointed in me, and she always had faith in what I could do. But I literally, like, when we go home for Christmas, we're going to go Mobile for Christmas. And then we're going to go to Tallahassee right after that. And you can just stay with your people in Mobile. I'm going to do my Army thing and I'll send for you. Mm-hmm. That was something I built up in myself. If she would have been anybody else and accepted that, I feel like there's no way we'd be together today. Like, she was like, you asked me to come up here, do what you got to do. I'm going to be here and we'll figure it out in the end. And that's when I decided, okay, she ain't going. I can't leave her here by herself. And I started working for Enterprise. But that was one of the low moments. I was calling y'all. I was depressed, bro. Like, completely depressed. I felt like I was a failure all those years of college and being in the Army, and took all that time to graduate just to end up here. I quit a good job, making decent money, had a cute little chick in Tallahassee I'm messing with. Why did I mess all this up? Bro, I feel like I made every wrong decision in the world. And if it wasn't for her, I would have been messed up. But it's also just like that pressure I put on myself as a man.
I want you to let people know that you had a woman that was with you that was riding the bus, the city bus to work.
Yeah, Z was riding out. So
that's important.
So like, that's how, and I felt so deflated because I'm working for myself. She was working at the mall, the Galleria, and we only had one car at the time. And so I'm driving around trying to do sales. Z would catch the bus. She had to walk to the bus stop and catch the bus to work. It wasn't that far to ride, but it was still the fact that she had to catch the bus. Like, when I was in Tallahassee, I had a company car and my little Honda that I didn't drive. Like, it was just sitting there so anybody came in town could drive it. And she was catching the bus. She was working full time. She was paying the bills. So like, I have a good month, be able to pay something. Next month couldn't do anything. But it was pressure I put on myself. That I think as guys, it's tough. You know, it can make or break us. Because like I could have lost one of the best things that ever happened to me just because of pressure. Or she had every right to like, nigga, get your shit together and send for me later.
It's a lot of women out there that have their priorities together. Meaning that, we focus up on the women who want a guy that makes all this money and to take care of them and keep them up. But it's also a whole bunch of women that's really supporting the man and believing in him and wanting him to do better for himself. A lot of women that date aspiring rappers or guys who's just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? So when we say women, we have to also talk about those women too, because it's those women who end up getting taken care of because you will love the person and believe in the person and not what they can do for you. And then if you love that person and build up that person, then that person can build his superpowers up and take care of you and their family. And that's what you had. That's what I ended up having. That's when I found out I had. When I lost my job, I thought I was going to retire on the railroad. I was making so much money on the railroad, right? And I let all my licenses and all my and all my accomplishments, my certifications and stuff lapse because I didn't think I needed it anymore. I was on the railroad. I was secure in my job. Then next thing you know, I'm 40 years old. I don't have a job anymore, right? I'm 40 years old. I'm running out of money. I can't pay my bills. I'm getting to a depressed state. like I'm depressed. I reach out to my line brothers. I'm like, yo, I'm at this rehab center and I'm literally crying. And they like, and all y'all reply back to me, bro, you need anything? And I'm like, no, don't send me anything because, I mean, you can send me something now and you're just going to pay my bills this month, but then I'm going to need it next month. So, you might as well not send it to me now because that ain't the problem. I need to stop the bleeding. So, but my woman did stay by me, and I needed that for strength because we need friends and relationships, and then your wife can be your friend and, that strong relationship because you need somebody to lean on and just to hold you up until you get it back together, until you can recharge your superpowers. So, Ferg, you was always a superhero. You was just trying to find where your strength was coming from. You know what I mean? And sometimes men are superheroes. Sherman is a superhero. He just needed to find his strength. He was just locked up and he couldn't fly. And once he was out of the cage, he's flying. So, women, when you want a man to take care of you, make sure you're picking the right man. There are certain signs that the right man does, and there are certain signs that, and there are certain things that the right man absolutely won't do. Like if you see his underwear and he's taking time to match his underwear with his shoes, and he wants you to see that he's matching his underwear with his shoes by showing you his butt, he ain't gonna really be flying that far or high. You know what I mean? Unless he's an entertainer, right? I mean, and that sphere and that circle is very small. You need to find you a man's man. Somebody who's uncomfortable and stressed out by being on the couch and not having a job, who's getting up walking. Like, don't worry about what he got on today. Just look at what he's going to have on tomorrow. Get you a real man. Don't get no dude that's wearing Gucci and dressing better than you and not taking care of you because he's reached his apex and he's trying to take care of him and his looks. So that's all I'm saying.
And he might not be able to keep you up, but he'll definitely be able to support you. I think that's the thing. Like, he might not be able to buy you Gucci, but he'll definitely be able to.
But your lifestyle is going to be comfortable.
Yeah, you'll never have to worry.
Right. People mix that flashy stuff with comfort. But, like, I can live very, very comfortably. I can go out and buy Mercedes and all this other stuff. Will I? No, because it's not financially sound to me. You get what I'm saying? Even though I can afford it, why would I go buy a Tesla for $80,000 when my Hyundai looks nice, great gas mileage, and is only $23,000?
And I can call you and be like, bruh, we about to go on a trip to Dubai, and you got extra money because you ain't putting it on that Tesla
exactly
to go to Dubai.
So right now,
you know what I mean?
We can do like at the drop of that because I know everybody at this table right now know how it feels to be broke. When you can't get something on sale, that's a hurt feeling. When you got to feel like, man, I'm going to get my fucking haircut. You get what I'm saying?
I went to beauty barber college for about a year and a half.
You get what I'm saying? So we know what it feels like to not have. And like I tell the women that I talk to now, like, hey, I work so hard because I'll never go back to where I came from. You know what I'm saying? I came from the projects. At 10 o'clock, we had to get on the ground because they would shoot. That's every night. You get what I'm saying? So I know what I'm not going back to. You know what I'm saying? So I know my work ethic is going to be here so that I don't get here. So if you have a problem with me working to maintain this, like if you can't give me a reason, not a reason, but an alternative to maintain this, then there's really nothing you can tell me about how I'm getting my money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that goes back to if you want to like be kept, you got to be ready for a busy guy. He ain't gonna have a whole lot of time for you. He ain't gonna be able to spend like if he's putting that much work in or that much effort and time into working so that he can keep you and everything. He's not gonna be as engaged with you. He's not gonna be able to come home and spend hours and hours with you. He's not gonna be able to pick up the phone and talk to you in the middle of the day and everything. Cause like that was one of the things like Jen would be like, I'm like, look, between 8 and 4, we might be able to text at lunch, but other than that, I'm probably not gonna be able to holler at you all day.
That's what Bobby Womack said. I can't be at two places at one time.
Exactly. I had the military and everything else, so I had time. I get off and I got to jump on conference calls for the military and everything. Drill weekends, we got to schedule vacations around drill weekends and stuff like that. I mean, so it's one of those things that if you're looking to be kept, if you're looking for a guy to really step up like that, you got to understand that there's going to be trade-offs in places. And what do you want? Do you want the attention more? What's your love language? Going back to that, is time more of your love language, or is it gifts? Because if time is your love language, stop looking for the guy that want to give you gifts. Because the guy that can give you gifts ain't going to have the time. He needs to be able to put the time in with you.
Jody got all the time in the world.
That's it, bro.
Jody come and give her the time.
Big Pokey. That's what he there for.
Yeah, Jody.
All right. Anybody else? Well, like I said, thank everybody for joining us. Let's go ahead and do our parting shots, fellas.
Once again, thank you guys. Thank everybody that showed up. I love you guys. Thank everybody for the birthday wishes. Facebook was lit up. Instagram was lit up with well wishes and happy birthdays. And I really appreciate you guys for that. So I love everybody.
Did you get any birthday nudes?
I did not get any birthday nudes.
Shame.
I know, right? I was surprised by that. I was expecting at least a couple, just random. Happy birthday, Razi. But no, nothing.
Selfish behavior.
I thought that was
Very selfish.
I thought that was a thing that came with turning 40 or something, bro.
Yeah.
40 and single. I thought you automatically get news, but I mean, what do I know? Buff, what you got for us?
I don't have anything, man. Just once again, happy birthday. I'm also glad. I know it's all about Razi, but I was very excited to see my homie Sherman and Slim. As I said on past episodes, me and Slim have been friends since kindergarten. And Sherman has literally been like a blood brother. I see you. I mean, I just saw you last month. I just saw you. But Sherman's been like a blood brother, and I think I haven't seen him since my mom passed. Yeah. So I was excited about the trip, just seeing them two and just surprising Razi. And I'm glad it came together. Great house. So good job on that, Ferg. And we're just having a good time. We thank y'all for listening. And before I pass it to Ferg, as always, send the link or our website to at least 5 of your friends. Just text it to them. You text nonsense to your friends all the time. Text them 3 brothers, no sense. Just say, hey, this is a podcast I listen to. Check it out. Just 5 friends and ask them to do the same. We continue. We always want to try to make the show grow.
So I guess you guys got anything you want to say?
Well, happy birthday, Razi, man. It's been a pleasure to kick it with you this weekend. Enjoyed you guys. I'm glad y'all invited me in as a special guest.
I just want to say happy birthday again to Razi, follow friend. I had to be here. Absolutely had to be here. Had to be there at that door with Tavares. I told him it was absolutely necessary that I fly into Birmingham to be there when we showed up at that door. I'm just happy to be here. Thank the listeners for, their support to my brother's show and continue to listen.
What about your books, bro? Can they still find them?
Oh, yeah, you can still find them on all your major platforms.
What books are we talking about?
We're talking about the LaFleur High Sagas. We have what's available right now. We've been drinking. Excuse me. Andre, Mia, Brandon.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get back to them because there are definitely more books. But as we've been talking about here, I've been working like crazy. And, it's paid off. So I'm very grateful to that. I'm very thankful for that. That, I just don't have the time. And I have to find the time because my writing is very important to me. So I have to find the time. But, I've been working and trying to strive there and get things going in my career. And, things are looking up. So I'm like I said, I'm extremely grateful. But look for those books on all your major platforms.
Can we post a link?
Yeah.
We'll post a link on the podcast on this. Young Lennon, what's good with you, bro?
2 minutes.
All right. Hey, this is Lennon Gibbons with the Bruhs Bookshelf. That's DABRUHS Bookshelf. I have a podcast. We're going to try to start taking our podcast from podcast platform to YouTube platform. What we do is we read books and we have discussions based around the book, and we let the book kind of guide our discussion. It was a great pleasure. Happy birthday, Razi. To be invited here. I'm here with my line brother, Ferg. I finally met Sherman. I heard a lot about you, actually. Slim, I met Slim at FAMU. He came, I know him and met Slim over 20 years ago. Buff, DeMarcus, Ferg. So it's a pleasure to be here, pleasure to be on this podcast. And I am the wild card on the podcast.
Obviously. We gotta keep you coming and get you back. So I'm just glad everybody's here. Anybody that knows me, I'm a people's person. The way I think I show my caring is hosting. I like getting people together. I just don't plan shit. I just like to have my people I care about.
Horrible at planning.
Because y'all Negroes don't know what the y'all want to do.
Right. Blame us.
But the thing about it is, and I don't know what y'all want to do. My thing is, I love stuff like this. I can sit around and talk all day with my friends and family, and this was a vision of mine to get. I love when my two worlds, my family world and my mobile worlds collide, because that's two parts of me that I take very seriously. Love you guys. Thank you. Razi, happy birthday, bro. If I didn't say it the first time, you deserve this. I felt like I wouldn't be a true friend if I would have let you bring in your birthday in any less style. I wish we could have did more. I'm a horrible planner. If you had a better, I don't think I could be that much more of a best friend, but I think I could be a better planner. So if your best friend was a better planner, this should be out. But Three Brothers No Sense, man. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment. Most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.